Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. It's your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5, here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs to recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So light the jack-o'-lanterns, suit up, and grab the candy dish as we revive and recount tonight's spooky selection, The Muppet Show, with very special guest, Alan Arkin! I was halfway debating whether or not I wanted to like switch it up at the very end, like go like with tonight's spooky selection, The Muppet Show with tonight's very special guest, Alan Arkin. All right, so Dragon, I gotta tell you, man, this is I'm not even gonna beat around the bush. I just unabashedly love this episode. I really do. This honestly might be like I have yet to go back and binge all of the Muppet Show. That's certainly something I need to do. But this might be like one of my top tens as far as like just my favorites out of the ones I've seen. I mean, I don't know, Dragon. Something about this just really, really fired on all cylinders for me. I think pretty much everything about it worked. I guess my one nitpick with this episode, and it's not even really anything bad. It's just that I think the pigs in space thing is it's a little disconnected from the rest of it. But you know that's obviously the nature of the Muppet Show. You know, it's like you're like not everything is going to flow perfectly into each other, and I need to like kind of keep reminding myself.
Well, we had to throw Miss Piggy in there somewhere for the last gag.
No, you're right. You're right. So beyond the pigs in space, it's an entertaining pigs in space. It's just kind of I feel like everything else in this thing just flows together so well. And then we have pigs in space, and it's a decent pigs in space. But I feel like out of all the sketches, it's the one that feels slightly out of place. But like you said, it does set up Miss Piggy being there, so you know we need to have that. And Dragon, oh my god, I have so many kind words to say about that that final song. That final song is I love it so much.
That's pretty great, isn't
it? So yeah, suffice to say, I definitely think we made a good call doing this one, Dragon. I really think this is just top tier.
Yeah, this is the provide a little context here. There's a whole lot, but this is the third in kind of the spooky kind of Muppet trilogy of the Muppet Show episodes. Like not Halloween specific, but close enough. Halloween
and it's
adjacent.
Interesting because the other two are kind of like they are very much figures that kind of like fit into that sort of like horror niche. With Alice Cooper and Vincent Price.
Yeah.
And Alan Arkin, it's like, there's a reason this kind of flew under our radar because Alan Arkin is just not really, you don't really think of him in a horror context. It's just they randomly decided to do this.
I mean, Alice Cooper has both met Freddy and Jason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alan Arkin, he's the funny man. You know what I mean? It's like you don't really associate him with, with Halloween spookiness, but just for some reason. I think the reason this works so well is because Alan Arkin, just by his very nature, just his public persona, he is such a nice, agreeable, pleasant guy. And to have him just switch around, with that Jeckell and Hyde stuff, it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, with Alan Arkin, do you have familiarity with Alan Arkin anyway?
Well, I got to tell you, the thing I actually most know him from is Little Miss Sunshine. I'm not terribly. I mean, of course, he was in the Kaminsky Method, right?
That was honestly for me. I think that might have been one of the best things that he's done since Little Miss Sunshine. I think he, he's in the first two seasons of that, and he's not in the third season for a very interesting reason. It's kind of neat. What?
I'm just kidding. I know the reason, but
Yeah. But yeah, it's Alan Arkin, of course, he's kind of like he's kind of been a little bit of everything. He's very much kind of a renaissance man of Hollywood.
Mhm.
He's been a songwriter. Has worked. I believe he got to start on Broadway and doing plays and stuff, and then of course that elevated to kind of like many acting parts over the years. Which I mean, of course, I think the first thing we've all seen him in technically was he was the dad in Edward Scissorhands.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. And of course, Little Miss Sunshine. He did a movie called Poppy. That was, I think, it was probably the biggest thing he had done before he got into the other stuff. Yeah. Of course, fun fact: he, if I have it right, he co-wrote the Banana Boat song. The Harry Belafonte song. So he helped him write it, and Belafonte performed it. Oddly, also on the Muppet Show, and he performed the Banana Boat song.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, just that performance at the end, I'm chomping at the bits to get to
But
it.
that's what I mean, because that's why I bring up
classy.
well, that's why I bring up the Banana Boat thing. Is the fact that the man does have a great singing voice. That I think back in the day, like again, kind of pre-80s, that was kind of what he was really known for. That's why they have him sing on the show. Where now he's just kind of nowadays he plays old man parts, but he plays them fantastically and hilariously. He's Alan Arkin has, of course, Argo, for example. He's got it going on. There's like the man has kind of a merit and kind of a medal of Hollywood. And fun fact. One of the Muppet Show guests that appeared, one of the very few Muppet Show guests that appeared in Muppets 2011, as brought up by Z&K channel earlier.
Sure.
All right, all that said.
Speaking of which, I'm just going to go ahead and we also have Theme Park Priest in the comments saying, how did you get Uncle Deadly on the show? Oh, I think he's talking about my voice. Thanks, Theme Park Priest. That's what I was going for, so I'm glad you appreciated it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, it's funny because like if you notice, I kind of like I started out in the usual like Paul Frees tenor, but then I kind of like adjusted to be a little bit more deadly.
See, I didn't think about doing Uncle Deadly. I just kind of winged it. I just kind of forgot it. Oh man, I should have tried Uncle Deadly. Darn it.
Yeah, I think like the first line I did was like Paul Frees, but then the rest of it was more kind of deadly. Not although I think deadly to a certain extent, that voice is very Haunted Mansion-esque.
No, for sure. There's definitely an element of that with with Uncle Deadly, and it's the whole like just one pump of leisurely placed caramel.
All right, so just to go over Z&K's comments really quick. There's clearly a reason they went with the beady eyes for the bunnies after this. They look possessed even before they drank the damn potion. I have thoughts on the bunnies too, because I actually find it interesting how close the bunnies are. Like, not just as far as like the role that they have in the episode of like wanting to have their chance to shine on stage, but also the voice is just very much just straight up Bean Bunny.
I'm blanking on when Bean Bunny was created, because I know he was.
I mostly just associate Bean Bunny with Muppet Vision. I know.
Well, I know that, but
lucid character to that, but
that's the thing. I know he was created before that. He was in Muppet Christmas Carol, but there was something.
Right, yeah. Anyways. Z&K also says he mentions the like you said, he mentions the 2011 cameo. I don't think I have heard the Chipmunks version of Devil Went Down to Georgia, but the harmonica thing sounds fun though. He also says he's surprised and relieved that Zippity Doodah didn't get cut in the Disney Plus release.
Why on earth would it get cut in this? I mean, Zippity Doodah is used all over the place beyond good old Uncle Remus.
Yeah, they're probably phasing that out, but
I mean, still look at the end of Wake and See Beauty. We play Zippity Doodah, and it's amazing.
Yeah, but you do realize Waking Sleeping Beauty was like over 10 years ago.
And
I'm saying cultural shifts.
Well, this is like
I don't agree with the cultural shifts. I'm just saying they're happening.
Well, this is in the 80s.
All right. Anyways, the opening bars to the finale pig song always sound like the Sesame Street themes. Oh, damn. I can picture that. I can see that. All right. So without further ado, Dragon, you ready to just dive right into it?
Yes. So our opening, of course, as we open every Muppet Show, Scooter, Scooter, he bursts in there, says, how many, is it always 5 minutes or like how many?
I don't know if it's always 5 minutes. You probably know more than me because you've actually binged it.
Right. Like, like this many minutes to the curtain, Mr. Arkin. Mr. Arkin is like, oh yes, thank you, Scooter. I love how we play just to show the dichotomy of it later. Alan Arkin is so just darn pleasant.
No, that's what
On
I'm
one
saying. He is absolutely just like totally just like in the like in the zone, just one of the most nice, patient guys, Like he's getting the milkshake from the Swedish chef, and the chef is literally just shaking a cow, but he's not batting an eye. He's going with it.
I love that milkshake gag so much. It's just so
Oh, back when
simple.
they didn't beat the Swedish chef over the coals like a dead horse.
Yep.
Remember
Yep.
those times?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
There's a reason why he popped up in like one scene per movie.
Anyway.
Sorry.
You got the Muppet Family Christmas, though. The Swedish Chef was used perfectly in that, even though we did give more than one scene. It was used great in that. So,
I still think the best Swedish Chef uses might still be Muppet Vision, honestly.
Oh, of course, because he's up there and he's firing into the audience. It's priceless. All right, let's see. Oh yeah. Oh, there he goes. His theme park priest. Bean Bunny is from the 1986 Tale of the Bunny Picnic.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
There you go. Anyway, so Kermit, of course, he makes the very enthusiastic Alan Arkin. It's obviously beyond that. It's just he's very enthusiastic. We get Alan Arkin. Yeah, you see, so he's just very
right.
It's very thrilled on Arkin. So then, of course, he introduces the devil. What is it? The devil went
down to Georgia.
Yes, the devil went down to Georgia, and of course, this I think the first time I ever heard about this thing was Futurama. Oddly enough,
that's cool.
I was saying, remember the whole
that is a really good episode.
That's what I'm saying. Like the whole idea of like the devil fiddling contest thing. Because I saw it here, like, wait a minute, I know this. And it's like
right.
So
I think just the vibe of this is like really spot on. I think it's a really great tone setter.
Yeah, I mean, we have Satan himself as a Muppet. We have basically this devil Muppet, and he's challenging. He's challenging. Is it Jimmy or Johnny?
Johnny, I think.
Johnny. Right. He's challenging Johnny to a fiddling contest with the jug band. Kind of in the background. To provide the music. What did you think? I call it like the Jimi Hendrix effect. What did you think about the Jimi Hendrix?
Oh,
effect?
That was super cool, man. Yeah, it's really cool. I love it.
I wonder how directly that was going for like a Jimi Hendrix thing, or if it was just like 80s video.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of the Bald Mountain animation. You know how those go sort of like kind of slightly translucent.
Right.
But just stylistically, it's really great.
Well, I mean, when he was turning green and everything, that's what I mean by the Jimi Hendrix.
No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just saying with the translucent, like not necessarily the main singer, but the little devil dancers in that same shot very much remind me, kind of have a Bald Mountain.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's some Bald Mountain there. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, then we have, of course, Statler and Waldorf making kind of like lay an egg, a deviled egg. Oh. All right, so this is great. Kermit, this pays off later. Kermit tells the devil, "Oh, you were good." No, I'm not supposed to be good.
All right,
whole
so
song
the
about
Bun brothers enter the scene.
Oh, the Bun brothers. I love the Bun brothers. These guys were delightful.
I mean, like I said, Dragon, like more or less they accompany the same basic role down to the voice that Bean Bunny did in Muppet Vision.
Prototype to Bean Bunny for sure. It's like, okay, let's homogenize the bunnies. Let's make them all one. And, we did that.
Right.
So the Buns here, they want to do a number, and Kermit the Frog says nope. And I love how in unison they are. But why? Kermit says politics. If you guys perform, then I have to cancel the Dancing Carrots Act.
Yeah,
which is funny. Let's see. So then, oh boy, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. What's Honeydew doing this time, Tiki?
For some reason, he's got some ultra powerful Jekyll Hyde potion. For some reason, as you do, because it's not like anything can go wrong with that.
Well, he initially thinks that he's holding a bicarbonate of soda for Alan Arkin's rumbly tummy, and Beaker informs him like, no, you have the thing that looks very conveniently like the bicarbonate soda, the ultra powerful Jekyll Hyde potion. And it's funny,
great kind of comedy routine where he's just constantly switching up the glasses, and Beaker is just kind of worried that it's going to get messed up.
Yeah, very Abbott and Costello-esque, like with the old money gag of like, put it there and leave it there.
Right.
And of course, it's funny. I rewatched this with a fine-tooth comb. It's like, yep, but all the switches actually track. So like the thing that Bunsen Honeydew is holding is the potion, so it gets swapped. So he ends up with the potion again. So I know you can. I know at the end of the day we know it's going to end up being the potion, but still, it's like if you follow, like they could have just said it was the potion, but no, it actually is the potion. If you track.
Right. Yeah.
So
and then Floyd is just like super casually in the background reading a newspaper, and he's like, "This might be a very different kind of show."
I love Floyd just kind of voicing the audience. Ultra powerful Jekyll Hyde potion.
Yeah.
All right, so Dr. Honeydew brings the bicarbonate of soda to Alan Arkin. Of course, Alan Arkin says, "Oh, there's your nurse."
I love how Alan Arkin is just like casually like powering himself up.
Yeah.
Like he's doing his own makeup, Yeah,
and of course, he mistakes Beaker for the nurse.
Mm.
And,
by the way, the fact that Beaker gets so offended by that,
yeah,
I am convinced is part of the reason why there's a content warning on this episode.
I think it's for a different reason, Tiki. I think there's another scene in the episode.
I think there's a couple scenes that you can point to, but I think that I honestly think that might be labeled as transphobic nowadays.
I don't think that. He's Beaker, man. I don't really think there's a lot of that.
Well, I'm just saying he gets pretty pissed off at the misgendering, dude.
Well, it's like, I don't know. It's like if you were mistaken for a lady when you're not. I don't know.
I'm not even saying I agree with it being transphobic. I'm just saying, like, you never know with Disney, they're super careful with that kind of stuff. So
maybe
it's more of an observation, but
it's something they've been doing all the other episodes, which I think in some cases maybe a little more justified than others, but in this, but I think a lot of
it is just in front of every Muppet Show episode.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Initially, it was only in front of select few, but I don't know if over time they just put it in front of all of them. Now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would definitely change things because I just assumed it was in front of like particular episodes.
I mean, at that when the Muppet Show first was put on Disney Plus, when I binged it, it was only like a select few. So I don't know if that's still true. I haven't re-binged it since then. So I can't tell if they've automatically just had a fear of and paranoia over everything and put it over multiples, but it might be. It might be. This might be one of those cases for possibly the reasons you said, but I think it's more for a scene later in the episode. For other PC reasons, which I'm going to complain about and gripe about my first world little bubble, but we'll get there. So, regardless, so let's see. So then, oh god, I think this is hysterical. I gotta be honest, I was laughing so hard at this. Just Dave Gold's just priceless here. Says, no, here's the bicarbonate soda, so you can say totally binky booze to that nasty old tummy upset. Totally binky booze. Even Al Arkin's like, totally binky booze. Okay. You can get a sense of like this, just like maybe them kind of improvising a little bit, getting a laugh out of Al Arkin. It kind of feels
yeah.
All right, so now Alan Arkin, he drinks the he drinks what he thinks is bicarbonate of soda, and Tiki, what is it actually?
It's the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde potion.
Turns him into Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, which basically amounts to just like giant Bogdan style eyebrows and fake fangs.
Yeah, where's Cranston when you need him in the 80s?
Right.
Just Cranston like it's gonna burst in through a door. F you and your eyebrows, and he just leaves.
Dragon, I will say, what if someone just had a Halloween costume as Bogdan that was literally just like the giant eyebrows? It would be such a deep cut.
It would be.
Anyways.
So you get these giant eyebrows and you get these fangs, and then you get into kind of you basically sound like Opie from Family Guy, essentially. He's kind of make these wow. It's like making a bunch of just kind of primal noises as he kind of tears.
But I just love how he just like instantly just goes about just like all he can do in Hyde mode is just destruct the set. Like that's it. That's his one focus. It's just set destruction.
Yeah, he's destroying like the chairs, and they literally burst through. Oh, I love how he beats the crap out of Beaker, where he's like twisting his.
Oh god, no! That is some genuinely like fantastic puppetry work right there, because that was like a, they must have used like some sort of like stretchy material for that model, and No, I love that scene. Yeah, just from a practical effects point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, probably like a head swap or something, like a specialized design puppet for that. But yes, it's basically like he says, "Oh, he won't hurt you, Beaky. You're a nurse." And anyway, so he's like
Just
twisting the head
grabs it.
around,
Like, first of all, he's like twisting the head off, like he's trying to twist off a bottle cap or
like it's
something.
like The Exorcist or something.
Right, and then he bites the nose, and
I
then
love
the
that.
Jimi Taw is just like the boingy, boingy, boingy with the head.
He easily stretches up the head, and then like he then hits it down. Then he literally tears through the wall to leave. Like the Kool-Aid guys, like an ill-tempered, slower Lon Chaney Jr. version of the Kool-Aid man.
I'm honestly surprised that there haven't been. I'm sure they exist, but I'm surprised there haven't been more like horror movie parodies of the Kool-Aid Man.
I mean, does he really seem like he has that much to be upset about?
Well, I'm just saying the whole concept of like this giant anthropomorphic fucking bowl of punch literally bursting through your walls at any minute.
No, what you need to do, Tiki, it's less the traditional horror. What you need is the cultist horror.
Oh God.
See, he pours the Kool-Aid.
Oh my God! Oh no! Oh God!
And it's like he's this lauded religious figure in kind of a small group that he's lured these people to, and he's made them pledge allegiance. And then essentially he's like, "Okay, my children, it's time. Oh yeah, it's time." He says, "Oh yeah, it's time." He tilts his head almost in like kind of like that old like the Japanese lore about the little thing with the little that little thing with like the water in the head and the dipped in bowl head. He bends down, he fills like a chalice or something. They all drink from, and then horror. And then of course when he's completely emptied, his life ceases, and that's him dying at the end.
All right. Wow, that was a journey.
Anyway.
All right. So we have Koski Productions really quick, just says puppets are cool. That is all. Yes, I would agree with that statement.
You know what I call that? I call that a Muppet News Flash. All right. Okay,
only
anyways.
The cool kids like the Muppets.
Yeah. Isn't that right, Jason Segel? Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, let's see. Okay,
I was actually watching the Nick Kroll stand-up special on Netflix, and he has this really hilarious bit about Jason Statham being like his inner critic. Oh God. Anyways.
Really? Okay. All right, let's see. So, oh yeah, and then we have the Zippity. So Alan Arkin was supposed to go on with Zippity Doodah.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up getting then Scooter's telling Kermit, "No, boss, Alan Arkin's changed. Yeah, he's getting into his costume for the number. No, he's in here like, no, something else has changed. And it was on with the Bun Bun Brothers. So essentially, we have Zippity Doodah with the Bun Bun Brothers, but Alan Arkin shows up for his act because he's a consummate professional, even if he is Jekyll Hyde.
Right.
So yeah, this is.
Can I just say I absolutely love the set here.
Yeah, the set's great. It's like kind of a cheesy set, but very intentionally.
It very much has like, in not any sort of negative connotations. I'm just saying in like the Mary Blair artwork inspired look of it, it does look very Song of the South.
I guess, yeah.
With the rolling hills and the rainbow and everything.
Were there rolling hills in Song of the South?
Oh yeah. Rolling hills are like a staple of Song of the South. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Alan Arkin is fantastic here. He's terrorizing these poor bunnies, which is kind of a formula for Bean Bunny at the end of the day. So I think there's a lot of proto Bean Bunny here. So he's like terrorizing these poor bunnies. He's like tossing them around, kicking them, stepping on them, and like pulling them out. There's like a little whack-a-mole thing. He's sticking the arms in to pull them out, and then has like a stick that he literally. He bats one of them out because he grabs one by the ears, throws him in the air, and then wham, hits him with essentially a bat, like a piece of wood. It works like a bat. And he's like pulling out the giant. He literally pulls out a tree, and he's destroying the whole set. And all these poor bunnies, man. My God, the bunnies, the Bun Bun Brothers. No, not the Bun Buns.
Oh God, what? Okay, you're gonna have to remind me of the actual name, but I know you know the quote I'm thinking of. I'm just thinking now, Tony Pajamas, the brothers that Josh Peck was always concerned about.
It's the Al Dente Brothers.
The Dente Brothers, yeah.
It's the Al Dente Brothers.
Oh God.
And Tony, they got donuts. God, I love that type of pajamas.
I really hate that fucking Dan Schneider is behind that show, because that show, like, genuinely is a.
Oh, he was behind all of it, though.
Yeah, I know he wasn't behind all of it, but
Probably
there was
killed
crazy
Kennedy
shit
while
going down on that set.
Probably it was involved in killing Kennedy too. Let's just throw that on him too. Done a lot of bad stuff. Let's add one more to the pile.
All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, Al Dente Bros is hysterical. So
I knew you'd appreciate the word.
I did. Anyway, so point being, after the Bun Bun brothers have been terrorized, one of them like hiding in the balcony with Statler and Waldorf.
This was like cruel, even for Statler and Waldorf.
You two seem like kindly old men. Can I hide out here? Hey, Alan, you missed one.
Also, just the idea of like Muppets that aren't familiar with Statler and Waldorf, mistaking them for kindly old men is just a very funny concept.
Because the Bun Bun brothers like a hired act for the show. They would
right.
So yeah. All right. So it's just the plan after all this chaos is okay. He and a bunch of apparently safari pigs of some kind. He and a bunch of pigs are gonna tie Alan Arkin up and then put a straitjacket on him.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes by and they do that, but then like one turn later, it's like, hey guys, what's going on? Can you stop tying me up? It's like, Alan, what happens? I came down to perform my number. I don't know what you're talking.
All right, so we are about to get to a moment that just absolutely fucking killed me.
Yes, the prototype to the Tom Bergeron gag.
Right.
Oh god. So this is okay. So after Alan is transformed back, and essentially he's missed his number, and Kermit tells him, "Well, we had to cancel your numbers." It's like, what? Wait, really? What did you not like it? And this is like, don't explain. You're the boss. I guess it wasn't good enough.
Dragon, just Alan Arkin's performance here is just so goddamn genuine. It's
just seeing him so emotionally he's like a child who's been told that he didn't get the prize. Like just like, don't explain. You're the boss.
Oh my god!
Yes, it wasn't good enough.
I honestly had to pause the episode for a good minute when he like went up to the dressing room. It just killed me.
I had to rewind it because I was laughing so much. Oh, it's the fact that he's actually weeping and everything as he's going. Oh,
right.
And again, it reminds me a little bit of the Tom Bergeron gag from the.
It does, yeah.
The NBC, not the Well, was it the NBC? No, ABC Muppets.
ABC.
The Muppets. Just the whole like. I forgot to tell Tom You think Tom Bergeron knows? He found out. Anyway.
No, I mean, I like that in the context of the Muppet universe. It's just like, it's a big deal to be on the Muppet Show. And if your act is cut, it's going to be kind of heartbreaking.
Which is very ironic from the start of the Muppet Show, because they were really struggling for guests at the very beginning. And then ultimately everyone's like, oh my God, yeah, we want to be on the Muppet Show. Heck yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so then, of course, Kermit has this hysterical line where he's like, well, at least he's not mad. At least he's not a monster anymore. And of course, it comes and goes. So it's like, oh boy, so this is going to be a thing throughout the show then. So then we have, I love this song. So I really love this gag. So Fozzie is with Rolf the dog on stage, and Fozzie's.
Can I just say, I love this pairing.
Yeah, it's great.
Because it's essentially like Kermit's OG best friend / performance partner, and then his actual best friend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's like the oldest, it's like one of the oldest beloved Jim Henson characters with Rolf the dog,
exactly.
Aside from Kermit the Frog, Rolf, again, people underestimate how important Rolf was back in the day.
Oh, I know. No, I will never underestimate that. I think Rolf is like a pillar for sure.
Remind me, did you ever look into the Jimmy Dean things with Rolf or no?
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, how great are those Jimmy Dean appearances now? I love it so much.
Although I still think the Wilkins commercials are still like the top tier of Jim Henson commercials, though.
They're great, no question. But still, I mean, I just love seeing like Rolf Dog genuinely break up Jimmy Dean, and it's so hilarious. All right.
We also have Z and K just entered the chat. He said the melodramatic acting is chef's kiss.
Ring ding. Anyway, so then basically, so Fozzie is just utterly butchering "I've Got Rhythm," and I didn't think it was possible until I saw it. Like, oh yep, he's definitely butchering it.
And I love Ralph's solution to it, which is basically to just add the word "don't" to it and essentially make it into a bit of a jazz number.
Yeah, I don't got rhythm.
That's for sure.
Okay, then we get pigs in space. So, okay, so let's see. So we have the ship is kind of listing the one side, and of course, this is going to really screw up their. Dr. Strange Borg remarks, "This is really going to screw up our billiard game. We got to fix this." So we reveal as Miss Piggy goes to like see if she can fix something on the console. The ship is then upright, and then of course she goes back to her seat. Is then tilting down, and so the idea is Miss Piggy's weight is throwing off.
Maybe it's a woman's touch.
Yep. Then of course I love how Link kind of pieces together. Oh, I get it now.
right.
So that's the thing. So Tiki, this is why I think the warning's up on the episode. I think this scene is like the overly PC culture of like, well, we can't make fun of fat people anymore. So,
I mean,
really
it's possible, but I mean, I feel like all of Miss Piggy's material is like bordering on that, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. I think, well, traditionally, it's anytime we have like a pig reminder, which obviously comes into play later.
Yes,
but
very much so.
But I'm saying, on principle, this is like literally like very much a direct fat joke of just like, okay, literally we're making fun of
no, you're like the word fatso gets thrown around.
So because of that, and again, I'm not saying it's justified. I'm just saying I think get folks fat. Look, I'm not saying we should like shame people, but I'm saying in the context of old style comedy, it's like, well, yeah, you're gonna, she's a pig. That's the joke, Pigs are heavy. And Miss Piggy is the iconic pig of the bunch. So, I don't know. Regardless, of course, what's really funny though is that once she gets really ticked off once she realizes what's going on, then she chases him around. The ship's like going left and right and up, and it's like a seesaw. It's hysterical.
Right. So then we get an angel chorus.
Yeah, so this is a payoff of the little just mini joke with the devil. The whole like, oh, I'm not supposed to be good, so the song's about you're no good. So the devil got what he wanted. Yeah, so basically, like the devil.
Well, the devil showing up, like basically, like energizes the angels. They're like, "Oh yeah, finally, someone interesting."
Otherwise, it's boring and harps up there, man. You need a little Tom Ellis magic up there. Yeah. All right, so then it's time for Fozzie's act.
So Fozzie, there is when he's pleading with Sattler and Waldorf, it goes, please, Dragon, I swear to God, Frank Oz kind of slips into the Miss Piggy, like, please. I swear to God.
So I love how like Fozzie go, if you keep applauding, I won't be able to do my monologue. And the applause keeps going on. Well, don't sit in your hands either. Just, oh no, we won't sit in our hands. We can't throw things at you if we don't. Then we have this. We have the main joke that he delivers here, which is all like, what happens when you cross the Atlantic with the Titanic?
Halfway there.
I was on that ship, and I just love that Fozzie's luck. He gets the Titanic survivor in the audience.
You still have the dress that you used to get on the lifeboat.
God, that is just so funny. That's Statler would just wear a dress so he could blend in with the women and children. That's just
right.
Otherwise, he would have been a goner. Yeah, there's a life story we should see. The life of Statler and Waldorf, like the adventures.
Oh, dude, no. Oh, okay, like legitimately, I think an actual like Statler and Waldorf movie would be fascinating.
How Statler met Waldorf.
I really think that would be a fascinating side movie. I really do.
Yeah.
I've always pictured them being old army buddies.
How would you feel about them running into like they cast lookalikes? So not lookalikes. If they cast like someone in the biopic capacity to play Siskel and Ebert, and they ran into him.
That'd be funny. I can see that. Oh God.
Anyway, so let's see. Okay, so beyond that. Okay, so the Bun Buns are utterly, justifiably terrified by Alan Arkin. They're sticking by the frog so he can
I love
protect
how
them.
Kermit is like he's trying to stick up for Alan Arkin because it's the whole situation's not his fault, and he
He
has
is a
been a nice
lovely
guy.
man. He's a lovely, gentle man. Once you get to know him, and then you hear like the whole like, "Ah, and I will protect you from him." I love the way Jim Henson delivered it, and I will protect you from him. All right, so then, oh god, so Honeydew, he leaves the potion out, but not only does he leave the potion out, Tiki.
It's got a nice, convenient bendy straw.
So I love that this is like a horrible idea to put that straw in there, but it was also like it's the only way we get Kermit the Frog to drink this thing. He has to have.
Okay, can I just say the actual puppeteering of Kermit the Frog, just sipping the drink with the straw, just makes me laugh way too much.
It's great, right?
I don't know. It's just a really funny visual.
But again, I love like kind of the meta thing. Like, well, there's no other way for Kermit the Frog to drink that thing unless there's a straw. So we have to put a straw in this potion. There's no real reason for a mix-up. It's like, no, this is the potion, but for some reason I'm not telling you. I have left the straw in there. So, yeah, we didn't even see the segment that he goes on for. Was even funnier.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they goofed that up or if it's just like, oh, he went off to do a segment, then we're cutting in with the other act, which is this little "Let Me Go" song with this old lady being strangled by a snake. Anyways, so Kermit, he drinks the potion and he transforms, and it's very scary seeing Kermit the Frog just completely outside of his faculty.
No, there's always something disquieting about seeing Kermit the Frog out of character.
Because we've done this before with one of the other Halloween entries,
Uh-huh.
here, kind of our spooky entries here, because he turned into a vampire and bit Vincent Price. He
tried
to kill him. Kermit the Frog tried to murder Vincent Price once, and now we're kind of doing it like him kind of turning to kind of a Hyde version of the frog.
But I also love that the bunnies have that line of like, we feel safe with you, Mr. Kermit.
Of course, he just utterly terrifies him. Then Alan Arkin comes down to talk to Kermit, and he's like, "I don't know why you're upset with me. If you don't think it grabs you, you should tell me." And of course, like Kermit's then grabbing him like with it, like pretty much biting him and latching onto him. And it just keeps like on attacking and dragging him to the floor. It's like, God.
So yeah, really quick, the "Let Me Go" song with the old lady and the snake. It's kind of filler, but I really like it. I like the puppeteering behind it for one. It's a really creative puppet.
Yeah, speaking of the puppetry, tell me how awesomely seamless it was when Kermit the Frog goes on stage as the monster, and then he goes behind the curtain very briefly. And the idea is behind the curtain, like I guess another Muppeteer is like plucking the two, like the fangs and then the eyebrows, and Kermit like turns. And,
do you think it was that, or do you think there was just another Kermit puppet? Because that's how I read it.
Well, I mean, Tiki, doesn't it stand to reason the easiest thing is just have a guy waiting behind there and he's like plucks it real quick and then it's like turns?
I guess.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know how they did it. I'm just thinking like that seems to be like without having to like do a cut or anything. You want to do it in one take seamlessly as it seems to be. It's like it goes behind the curtain. His face is obscured. It's like how you do an old monster movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly like the most intricate of like makeup jobs on this frog. It's just like two big bushy Bogdan eyebrows and fangs.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, Kermit's back normal, and then we have the big closing number that Alan Arkin's very excited for, and Kermit has asked Scooter to make sure you keep Miss Piggy isn't around, right? So I don't want her around for this. Oh boy.
So this whole thing, like I said, it just absolutely kills me. I don't know. It's like I love how legitimately good of a song it is. I think that's what really makes it for me. If it was just a ho-hum song, it'd be whatever. But like they go so hard with like actually making it catchy.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. Yes. It's called, I think the song is called The Pig Shuffle, by the way, not just Pig, as you might think, just listening to the song. It's The Pig Shuffle. It's just kind of like
I love the mix of like it's a super classy like Vegas style lounge song.
Yeah.
But then the lyrics are just absolutely absurd and stupid.
Yeah, which is
Like,
kind of a
why
perfect.
would this even be a lounge song to begin with? You know what like, it's absurd in its very existence.
Yeah, I mean, it feels it's like there's kind of like a really cute kind of quality about it, or it's just kind of like it's wholesome, but it's also insulting if you were a pig.
Right.
Which is delightful, of course. But I love this thing. Here's the important distinction, though. At the right before the song, he says one of his favorite animals. He likes the pigs. This is in reverence
No, yeah, totally.
to the pigs. If Miss Piggy was there during the beginning of the song, like, oh, he loves the pigs. So of course he's singing the song, and of course Miss Piggy off to the side of the tension building. Let me at him.
Mhm.
So of course she goes on adventure. She gets on stage and then she karate chops him, and then he pops up Mr. Hyde and then terrifies her.
Yep.
Ah!
And that's about it.
Yeah, and that brings us to our end gag where Alan Arkin takes the stage, pretty much our title image here, and yeah, just like had a good time being on for what he remembers, and then of course, once Honey runs out on stage, says like the Bun Buns got into the potion. Yeah, all the Bun Buns like taking the stage as the monsters, and then Alan Arkin's like, Alan Arkin, he's taking charge, man. He's karate chopping these suckers and tossing around because we saw
I
what he
like
did
how
to
some
him.
of them look like they're just straight up like plush bunny rabbits that he's grabbing.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Imagine the timing on that. Like, you have to imagine it's like they're probably handing him up below there.
Yeah.
They're handing him like plushies, but otherwise it's like they have to time it so like the hand can go down while he grabs the puppet, so you don't see the hand.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, and of course in our end, we have our end gag about the oh, my wife takes that potion, from Settling Waldorf. Yeah.
All right.
And that's all she wrote. That is it, my friend. Like the horn has been blown.
Yeah, so I don't know what else there is to say, man. I think this was just a really, really, like, it was a classic Muppet Show episode. I think it had just enough of a old school like Halloween vibe to it to really justify including it in the lineup. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, the Jeckell and Hyde of it all, it just kind of fits, yeah.
Right. And of course, big thanks to Zine K, Koski Productions, and Theme Park Priest for joining us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks, our spirits grow weary. You know what, Dragon? I'm sorry. I need to look this up. Can you?
I keep telling you, why you keep ad-libbing? Just look at it.
I know. That's what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Tell them what's coming up this week, Dragon, please.
Well, folks, we have we are covering. I don't want to make any promises, but beyond, we definitely have some Marvel stuff coming at you. We will be covering Werewolf by Night a little after that comes out. We may or may not have some Phineas and Ferb, Halloween stuff coming at you as well. And
right, don't lose your shit at me. But what email chain is this in?
Tiki the one that says haunted.
Oh, I got it. All right. Sorry.
What email chain?
It was down over the line.
Literally 2 emails. It's the one anyway.
This has been your inside baseball. All right, you're ready to get out of here?
Just read the thing.
All right, folks. That's the end of tonight's spooky selection. And our spirits grow weary. But they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks. No need to explain. You're the boss.